Hey YouTube, I'm Vince White. I'm an employment attorney, and today we're talking about a new kind of joke. A joke that cropped up, in the past 5 years, I'd say. As far as I can recall, I think it's in about the last 5 years. Um, and this is a joke that is commonly made. It's made in a lot of places. We've seen it certainly in the workplace over and over and over again. And I want to be clear, I'm not making the joke when I say these things. I would not make this joke. But the joke goes a little bit like, oh, I identify as X, so I can do Y, right? Um, and that is a very popular joke these days. And it is something that has been popularized specifically in the eyes of conservatives. By things, like by Rachel Dolezal, who pretended to be an African American woman, and Elizabeth Warren, who pretended to be a Native American woman. I mean, I think she does have some minuscule amount of Native American heritage, going back like 6 to 10 generations maybe, but like she seems to have used it potentially to get like a scholarship or preferential treatment in law school, something like that. Um, and I mean, she even had to come out after her kind of bizarre presidential campaign where she came forward with her DNA tests to prove that she was, in fact, of some minuscule amount of Native American heritage. She had to go to the Cherokee Nation and apologize for that because what are you doing, right? Um, and so you get all these jokes, and they really are. It's a kind of a conservative line of jokes because, unfortunately, there's been a number of liberal figures that have been caught using playing this identify as game, and so then the question becomes, well, are those jokes okay in the workplace? Is that legal? And here's the issue. I think that Elizabeth Warren's behaviors, and I think Rachel Dolezal's behaviors, and there's another professor, Jennifer Krug. I think these people lied, and I think they appropriated marginalized cultures for their own purposes for a variety of reasons, and I think that's a bad thing. And I think they hurt people, and I think they benefited from their bad behavior. And generally speaking, yeah, I that is something that I view as very worthy of mockery, right? Um, why on earth a white woman who benefits from heaps and mounds of privilege would need to impersonate a protected class to get ahead? I'll never know. I'll never know, right? Like, why? Why? We have every advantage. Why? Um, but that being said, while I think that behavior is worthy of mockery, I am very uncomfortable with the I identify as joke. And that is because it takes a swipe at the culture of people transitioning, right? People who are trying to move genders, who identify as a certain gender, who feel they may have been misgendered or are born in a body that they are not comfortable in and would prefer to be viewed as or to transition to another gender. Um, they are then also victims of that line of joke. And I don't think you can suss out, I don't think you can separate the two groups, right? When you're making that joke, you can't make the I identify as joke in a way that just targets bad actors like Elizabeth Warren and Rachel Dolezal, right? And I know not everyone thinks they're bad actors. Um, you can go ahead and tell me off in the comments if you want. I mean, I think when you're appropriating the culture of protected class to benefit and to steal benefits that members of that protected class might have had, I think you're a bad person. I do. Maybe there's an argument that is not what happened. Maybe. You're free to make it, and I will engage with you in the comments. But I want you to know, and I want you to know where I'm coming from, that I think they did bad things. I really do. Now, that doesn't mean we get to hurt people who are dealing with gender and how they and what gender they identify as, because some white people did some bad things, right? Like that doesn't really make sense, right? There is a group of innocent people who are dealing with a great deal like that can feeling as though you were born the wrong gender cannot be easy, right? And God, that I believe those people are just unintended targets, or maybe frankly for some of the people making these jokes, they are intended targets. Maybe they are also prejudice against people transitioning, and so they want to lump them in there and get them too. And I think that's at the core of why the I identify as joke is not okay, right? Whether you mean to or not, you are harming the trans community. I think many people mean to harm the trans community, and I think some don't. But if you want to berate white people for faking membership in a protected class, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way, right? This is not something that is okay in the workplace. I don't think it's okay anywhere. I think it's discrimination. I think it's prejudice. But I can assure you that if you call me up and say, hey, I got terminated because I made some identify as jokes in the workplace and I need my job back, I'm going to say, oh, so sorry. Can't help you with that one. I think you should have been fired. I think that is a bad thing. And I want to commend you if you're looking this up because you're like, hey, I don't know if I should make those jokes in the workplace. Well, good job. Good job. Way to do your homework. Let me assure you, you should not. Those jokes hurt people. They hurt both the people that probably deserve to be hurt, the white people faking protected classes, and they hurt a lot of people who don't deserve to be harmed. And there's a better way to go about that. You can do better. I believe in your comedic chops. I believe in you. You can finely tune a joke to only punch up at the people doing bad things. You don't need to go and just have a bunch of innocents get hurt too, right? There's a better way to handle that, and I'm not going to help you if you don't find the better way. If you go ahead and harm the innocents on this one, I'm not even going to wish you good luck. I will check the comments down below. You can say whatever you have to say. I'm happy to have those discussions. Like and subscribe if you feel this video helped you. It helps me to help more people just like you.